Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. This is episode 109. We have a stellar show planned for you today, and I'll remind you about our awesome contest in a moment with Hotels.com, eligible to all legal U.S. residents age 18 and older, where we're giving away a Hotels.com $250 gift card each week for 8 weeks for a free night or two at a hotel of your choice through the app. I'll tell you more about that momentarily. But first, on the show today, we'll talk back to school tech with technology lifestyle expert Katie Linendoll. Learn how to protect yourself while traveling for business or pleasure when we speak with Shred-it. Cisco will stop by this hour to talk 5G and what that means for gamers. And we'll chat with GM about smart speakers and how you can now use your voice at home to start, stop, lock, and unlock many GM vehicles. Very cool. We'll get to that later this hour. All right, as I mentioned earlier, we have a great giveaway for you and running until the end of September, where someone will win a $250 Hotels.com gift card to put towards any hotel you want through the Hotels.com app or website. We're giving away one per week for 8 weeks. This is week number 2, by the way. Here's how to be eligible to win. All you have to do is as follows. Number 1, go to Twitter and follow Hotels.com. Number 2, type a sentence on why you could use a little getaway. Number 3, include the hashtag TechItOut. Just one word, TECHITOUT. That's it. Number 1, go to Twitter, follow Hotels.com. Number 2, type a sentence on why you can use this free getaway. Number 3, include the hashtag TechItOut. A name will be randomly drawn each week, and I'll announce it on the show and on social media as well. And if you want to read the full terms and conditions of this giveaway, it's on my website, marksaltzman.com. That's MarkSaltzman.com. And look for the tab that says Hotels.com contest. It's in the upper right-hand corner of my webpage. There is a limit of 1 entry per person per day per week, but no purchase is necessary. A purchase will not increase your chances of winning. This contest is open to legal residents of the U.S. who are at least 18 years of age, employees of Hotels.com, as well as the immediate family, and household members of those employees are not eligible to enter either. All right, let's get on with the show. As many will be traveling in August and September for work or leisure, you need to be mindful of identity theft. Commissioned by Shred-it, a recent study titled 2019 Data Protection Report yielded some alarming findings. For example, 1 in 4 hotel owners said that staff is probably unaware of the hotel's document shredding policies. Considering you might be sharing personal and credit card info at the desk, as well as printing documents in the hotel's business center, this might be a bit of a concern to you. Joining us on the line to chat about identity theft protection is Pete Winsett. He's a VP at Stericycle, the provider of Shred-it information security solutions. Welcome to the show, Pete.
Thank you for having me, Mark.
Before you tell us a bit about Shred-it, what are the risks that travelers are facing today?
There are 2 types of risks travelers face. We like to break them into 2 types. 1, physical, 2, digital. On the physical side of things, we travel with documents such as passports, our wallet, driver's license, and boarding passes. And we inadvertently or advertently use those with a lot of the area hotels and car rental centers will often photocopy your passport or driver's license. What do they do with this when you leave? How long does it stay on their premises? What guarantee do these organizations give to you, the consumer, on how they're going to dispose of this information in a safe and secure manner? On the digital side of things, there are 2 main areas of risk. 1, public computers, and 2, using unsecured public wireless networks. Using a public computer or a public network to access any personal or confidential information will significantly increase the chances that hackers can gain access to your usernames and passwords. Mm-hmm. Our recommendation is just to avoid public computers and public wireless networks.
So bring your own laptop or other digital device, and if you can, use your own cellular connection while roaming, which is more secure than using public Wi-Fi for free.
Exactly, and it even starts before that, Mark. We would actually recommend people, before they travel, try and handle all of their secure data protection needs before they leave. Mm-hmm. So what does that mean? For example, make sure you've done all of your banking and or personal information online needs before you leave. You don't want to have to be in a public environment where you do need to access whether it's social media or any financial or banking information.
Good point. Now, I think some of our listeners would be familiar with some of those risks that you've outlined. Still very important as a reminder, a bit of a primer for travelers. But what about risks that travelers often don't anticipate? That is, are there any hidden risks of travel?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, most travelers, we all know as travelers to keep our passport and travel documents safe and secure. There are other areas that we do need to focus on. So, for example, we've aforementioned, we did mention public computers in your hotel business center. Don't use or leave behind any paper copies of information, whether that's passports, copies, boarding passes. Don't leave that either on the hotel premise or in the hotel room. Very often, hotels provide little blue bins under the desks in the rooms. Mm-hmm. Our recommendation is you don't leave any confidential information in those blue bins because you aren't sure how those organizations are going to deal or handle that information. The other thing that I don't think a lot of travelers think about is we give very confidential information when we check into hotels or when we do car rentals. And again, often car rental agencies will often ask for a photocopy your driver's license, both the front and back. That has very secure information, including your name, your address, your birth, your date of birth, and other key information. So try and avoid, if you can, having them photocopy it. And if they must, as a good steward, you should ask them what their plans are to do with that paper once they're done with it and once you're done with your rental. These may seem like small infractions, but the value of this information is very important in this data that you're giving up, especially your name and your address is very, very important. So try to avoid giving that up.
Speaking of data, off the top of our interview, Pete, we are chatting, by the way, with Pete Vincent. He is a VP of Stericycle, the provider of Shred-it information security solutions. I mentioned a stat about hotel owners probably being unaware of their document shredding policies. Can you give us some insight into that study that Shred-it recently commissioned and what your key findings were as it relates to travelers?
The 2019 Shred-it Data Protection Report is in its 9th year, and it's one of the most comprehensive studies on information and data security. In 2019, Shred-it actually conducted 2 reports, one for the Canadian market and one for the U.S. market, in a broad spectrum of industries, but with a particular focus on 5 industries, including the hospitality industry. And in the hospitality industry, some of the information was very revealing. About 90% of hotel owners prioritize digital security over physical security, which leaves physical document protection neglected. And almost half of hotel respondents believe human error is the source of potential data breaches. So then it's very confusing and surprising that only 14% of hotel owners regularly train their employees on informational security procedures. Almost all the hotels, over 90% of hotel owners, acknowledge that they need to do more to show both employees and consumers that they take personal information seriously.
Do you think hotel owners and others in the travel industry or hospitality industry prioritize digital over physical because it's more convenient? They don't have to manually input that data?
I think it's twofold. I think one is there's more and more physical data breaches that you hear about on the news. However, over half of data breaches are due to human error or employee neglect. Mm-hmm. And in most cases, that isn't due to digital, it's due to physical.
Before we wrap up with a few other tips you may have for those listening who like to travel, tell us a bit about Shred-it. This is a document Shred-it company that has evolved over the years. Tell us a bit about the company.
Absolutely. Shred-it was founded in 1989. It's a global company with operations in over 15 different countries around the globe, and in particular in the U.S. and in Canada. And we are the largest document destruction provider globally.
Wow. And you also have some digital services as well, correct?
We do. What we do focus specifically on the destruction of media and hard drives. More and more laptops and computers are being introduced. Their lifespan is less and less, it seems, because of the development of new technologies. So consumers are trying to find, and businesses are trying to find safe and secure ways to destroy and remove their digital, whether they're hard drives or whether it's media.
Right.
And Shred-it does that across the globe. but with a huge focus in North America.
Okay, awesome. As we wrap up, Pete, let's chat a bit about what we can do prior to your trip to reduce the odds of a breach, and also while during a trip to keep your identity safe from fraudsters.
Absolutely. So safe travel, as you indicated, starts even before you leave the house. So before you even start traveling, consumers need to make sure that unauthorized people do not have access to their mail while they're away, especially if you do have a secure mailbox. 2, try and handle all of your banking in advance. Pay your bills or transfer any funds you may need to transfer from one account to another before you leave the home, so you don't have to access your bank account while you're traveling, whether that be on a hotel or public computer or public network. Finally, in the workplace, make sure your desk is clean and you've left no confidential information.
These are all great tips. Pete, is there a place we can learn more about Shred It, maybe some results of that survey you commissioned, and any other tips that you may have?
Absolutely. If anyone would like to understand more about Shred It or read or download the 2019 Data Protection Report, it can be found at shredit.com.
Okay, shredit.com. No dash, it's just one word, SHREDIT?
Correct, SHREDIT.com.
All right, Pete Vincent, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Very insightful information. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
You're listening to Tech It Out, powered by ASUS. I'll tell you more about them after this short break. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. I hope you're having a great weekend so far. This show is powered by ASUS. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops, desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. Back to school is here. So what's the latest scoop on how tech and innovation can help students and parents this year? Well, award-winning tech expert Katie Linendoll has the answers with several tech tools for students, from better sleep and time-saving home tech to how to get your kids learning about budgeting their finances to the latest in online tutoring. Welcome to the show, Katie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, it's almost that time, back to school. So how can we make sure our kids are well rested as they head back into school season?
Yes, well, it's amazing that it's back to school time. I'll first say that. It's like we've upgraded from the 64 crayons with a built-in sharpener. And let's go right into sleep, right to your question, because I had the chance to partner with 4 really cool technology companies. And I've been fascinated with the world of sleep. And finally, we're starting to see some data around how critical it is to our health, which is something many of us already knew. Mm-hmm. But specifically focusing on Sleep Number, they did this study that found that 71% of middle and high school students report being sleep deprived, and that they're losing 1 full day of sleep every single week due to poor habits. And I think that's probably spot on. And especially when it comes to back to school, it's hard to shift to get kids to get back into that regular schedule. So amazing that bedding technology has come so far. And I say innovation to the rescue because Sleep Number actually has these 360 smart beds that monitor your kids' movements and automatically adjust the bed's firmness to give them the best sleep through the night, which is pretty crazy to note that that exists, but also you can even take it one step further. There's a Sleep IQ technology where parents can visually see on an app how their kids are sleeping. So the data doesn't lie, and I think just having that at your fingertips to see how your child is sleeping is just massively helpful. But also we're starting to see from the studies that they did too, it's helping with mood. And as noted, they're losing about 1 full night of sleep per week. Wow, this is incredible if you can have something that'll help solve that problem.
I remember seeing this technology back at the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas in January, so that's pretty cool. And this is no doubt ideal for moms and dads as well, not just for the students. How much do the Sleep Number beds with the IQ technology start at?
Great question. Twin XL, for example, Twin XL mattress, it starts at around $699. So in my mind's eye, and being in the consumer space, I think that's a pretty good deal for all of the technology built right in.
All right. And then speaking of parents, do you have anything to help parents save some time as we enter the school season?
Well, I'm going to hit you on the laundry side, because who doesn't want to save time when it comes to laundry? I mean, my hand's raised.
I got 3 kids of my own. I can relate.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know. God bless you, first off. Well, LG just launched this new line, and again, talking about from sleep advanced technologies to also washing machine technologies, because that is where we're at in 2019. LG just launched its newest line of most advanced washing machines that they've put out to date, and they're called LG Turbo Wash 360. And without getting too nerdy on you, but kind of getting nerdy, the machines, they use these powerful jets. There's 5 of them that surround the clothes from all these different angles, and essentially allowing the detergent to get deep into the fabrics. But whereas a parent, you may perk up, it's great for big loads under 30 minutes. So it is all about saving time. It's all about doing things more efficiently. And again, just washing machine technology has come so far, and obviously a name that is LG that is so household friendly. These are available in black and white, and also they're having a huge Labor Day savings sale. So I think it's great for any parent.
And what's funny about LG is that they have similar or comparable technology in their dishwashers they call Quad Wash, which again is just getting more water in there, moving at a faster pace in a shorter amount of time to save you some time. And who doesn't love that? What's the starting cost for these LG washers?
I just slow clapped you for that data, by the way. I was like, wow, that was impressive.
Slow clap.
It starts at $1,099, but also they have this Labor Day savings that are coming in at $849. So
cool.
I'm all about the coupon. I'm a Jerry generous over tipper individual, but I want the coupon, like hardcore. So take advantage of it.
Awesome. Well, many of our listeners have kids who take the bus to school, and I understand that there's an app for that.
I was blown away. I discovered this, talk about CES. I discovered this at CES. It is a technology called Here Comes the Bus, and it is an app technology. And to have an app now that tracks just your child's school bus in real time and sends you a notification to your phone when it's close to arriving at your home or stop, to me is like so overdue.
And it's not crazy advanced technology. They just need to have that set up. As you mentioned, either it's a sensor on the bus or something on the driver's phone or something like that, I'm assuming. So again, Here Comes the Bus, if any listeners want to write their school board to get that. And then finally, do you have anything that could help students with schoolwork? We've been talking more about lifestyle and getting back into the routine of back to school, but anything actually tied to working?
Absolutely. And, for anybody that's struggling with a particular subject or even wants to just get ahead, whether you are a student or a professional, a really cool outlet is Varsity Tutors. It is a live learning platform, and you can choose the way that you want to connect with your professional, with your expert, whether that's in person. But I think the big differentiator is they're known for really connecting online with the instructors, so you can be in the comfort of your own home. And they have over 1,000 subjects from elementary level math to AP courses, prep tests like SAT and ACT. So if you are somebody that's struggling in a subject, you know what? Get after it. Get ahead. Or if you just want to be more advanced, Varsity Tutors is something worth checking out.
Okay, and again, that's all the way from elementary age students all the way up to college.
Yeah, and even professionals. I think, a lot of us older are taking on subjects later in life.
Awesome. And then finally, Katie, is there a website that you'd recommend to learn more about some of these products or even see them in action?
Yes, head on over to schoolprep.tv to check out all of these different technologies.
All right, that's schoolprep.tv. Tech expert Katie Linendoll, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it. Great chatting with you.
Great chat with you, Mark. Thank you.
We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. A reminder of our huge contest with Hotels.com. You could be eligible to win a $250 gift card for a free hotel stay through Hotels.com. If you're a legal U.S. resident who's at least 18 years old, here's how to enter. Go to Twitter and follow Hotels.com. Send a tweet to them with a sentence on why you could use a free stay in a hotel and include the hashtag TechItOut. That's one word, TECHITOUT. That's it. Easy peasy. We'll randomly draw a winner each week and read it on the air. I'll let you know, of course, privately that you've won, and we'll announce it on social media as well. We have 8 of these to give away. This is our second of 8 weeks, and you can enter once per day to be eligible for the random draw. Good luck. Downloads are dead. Instead, when we consume media today, we're streaming it to all of our devices, whether it's TV shows and movies through Netflix and Amazon and YouTube, playing music from places like Spotify or Apple Music, and soon video games. If you believe the hype, rather than buying a piece of plastic or downloading a game that you have to wait for to be finished before you play, you can instantly play something over the internet soon, in the cloud. And joining us to explain how this 5G revolution might help, we're joined by Ron Malenfant. He is consulting architect and business development at Cisco. Welcome to the show, Ron.
Hey, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Sure thing. Now, before we talk 5G and gaming and we demystify this 5G and all that, tell us a bit about Cisco. I believe the company made like $50 billion in revenue last year. Is that right? 2018?
Yes.
Wow.
We focused across the board. Everything from internet routing is where we originally started from to network switches and everything now in terms of application in the cloud data center. And what we'll be talking about today is, a lot around mobility and 5G, both across unlicensed and licensed architectures.
Okay. So mobility is a big story here, and 5G is the infrastructure. This is like the cellular network that we'll be using that offers much faster speeds and perhaps some other advantages over what we are using today, which is 4G or LTE. Why is 5G a big deal, and what does that mean for gamers?
Well, 5G is a big deal because it brings a lot of extra benefits. As we probably think of 5G as being faster speeds, which is definitely bringing to the table. But it's also reducing latency both from the radio point of view, but all the way through the network, using certain network architectures such as edge computing and a technology of APIs called network slicing, which allows it to logically break up the network. So 5G really brings a lot of these different benefits that we didn't have before, which is truly beyond just a radio that we've seen in 4G, all the way through from the application, being able to take advantage of that, to the network, the radio, and then the back-end APIs that can interface with the gaming providers and cloud providers and the service providers.
Okay, so let's just break down, though, APIs for a moment, because this is a mainstream show. I don't assume my audience is super tech savvy. So API, it's a set of instructions, it's like a development tool, right, that software engineers, coders use?
Exactly, Mark. Yeah, but it's a set of instructions coders can use to have an interface into the network, both in and out, so you could start developing things rapidly there. Okay.
Now, some carriers are already promoting 5G, but it's not quite here yet, correct?
Yeah, there's actually an evolution going on. So what you hear about the 5G announcements, especially here in the United States, it's really about this 5G radio to take full advantage of the mobile device itself. To take full advantage of 5G, it will actually need a 5G network. So what you're seeing happen today in the United States, the big carriers are announcing it with a 5G radio, but it's connecting to a 4G core network. So when they finally get to the 5G core network and they bring that in, you'll be able to take advantage of all the other pieces that I've talked about and we'll be talking about today.
And I know you sort of downplayed speed as not being the most significant, that latency is related, but it's maybe a bigger story. But just for the layman, just to explain, like right now, if you have access to the internet, it could be pretty fast on your mobile phone. Maybe you're streaming Netflix video while in the back of a car or something like that. But with 5G, the promise is when it comes to full maturity here, they say up to 100 times the speed of what we have today. Is that really possible?
Yes, it is, and it's possible in many ways, and that is definitely one of the big advantages is increasing the speed both with the radio and the network capabilities that it brings to bear. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. We're chatting with Ron Malenfant. He's with Cisco, and we're talking about 5G and, in this case, gaming. So why will this next revolution or evolution, if you will, in mobile speeds and a mobile network be so appealing to those who like to play video games?
Yeah, so I think what you're going to see is, twofold. One is, 5G. We think of 5G all about the mobile device, but it actually has another area. There's a 5G fixed wireless, which is also you're going to see, come at the networks. It's going to bring the same type of speeds with potentially less of a need of mobility, where you're basically providing that fiber-like connectivity to the home, but you're doing that through the mobile connectivity to your home. The second one is, I think, where, especially around mobile gaming, is going to be interesting, is you can bring that speed that you would get into the home, you would bring that to your mobile device, but you would bring that in a mobility function, whether you're in the back of a car, whether you're in the passenger seat of the car, and you're truly mobile and moving around. The other piece of that, which is very important, is the latency piece of it, right? So we start doing the VR applications. The 5G radio decreases the amount, it shortens the amount of latency that you would get, and then along with the network that I mentioned, bringing that latency down, because anything 20 milliseconds or greater in a VR type of application, the users start to get nauseous. So the goal is really in 5G is to get those that latency down to like the 7 milliseconds and sub 7 milliseconds area.
Very cool. I love geeking out like that. When we return on Tech It Out, we'll continue our chat with Ron Malenfant. He is the consulting architect and business development at Cisco. We're chatting about 5G wireless connectivity, new cellular speeds on the horizon, and its impact on gaming and what that all means. In the meantime, a quick shout out to one of the sponsors of this program and a company whose products I rely on all the time. It's Western Digital. They've got their new super rugged G Technology branded Armor ATD. It's a portable hard drive designed for those looking for a durable drive to bring on the go wherever life takes you. And it's especially ideal for photographers and videographers. When you're out in the field, you're shooting, you're editing, you're cutting, and you need to back up your important files with fast speeds and make sure it's reliable. This is the product for you. Again, it's called the G Technology branded Armor ATD portable hard drive. Go to g-technology.com for more. Hang tight. We'll be back with more Tech It Out momentarily.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, everyone. We're chatting about the promise of 5G connectivity, next generation wireless speeds with very low latency, and what that means for gamers. On the line, we've got Ron Malenfant. He is consulting architect and business development at Cisco. Welcome back to the show, Ron. And the appeal here, I guess, Ron, is that instead of, as I said off the top of our interview, instead of having to wait to download software in order to access it, you're able to play immediately as if it was stored locally. Isn't that right?
Yeah, yes, it is, and there's a combination of ways. So not only the speed and the latency, but as you start to build these out with 5G as a concept of mobile edge compute. So bringing down some of the sub-functions of gaming, the processing, the edge processing functions as far out to the cloud as possible. That cloud could be in a neighborhood DMARC. That cloud can be in an outdoor cabinet. That cloud can be in, AWS or Google data centers.
Okay, AWS, of course, Amazon Web Services. We're talking about files you can access in the cloud as if it was stored locally, and AWS does power many businesses today, and entertainment is no exception as well. So I think the promise with gaming is that, as I mentioned earlier, you don't have to buy it on a piece of plastic unless you just don't have access to those kinds of speeds where you live. And instead of having to download to wait before you play, it's just going to instantly be available. So kind of like Netflix, where you've got a selection of games, you might pay one amount per month. I'm thinking of services like Google Stadia, for example, that are on the horizon, where you pay one lump sum and then you've got access to a catalog of games. But because games are such big files, because these are often accounting for all your decisions that you may make in a game. It's not a linear experience. So as a result, these are huge, huge files. If you didn't have those kinds of speeds, it just wouldn't be possible.
Exactly. Okay. And so we learned through Netflix the ability now to bring some of those sub-functions out into the data center of the service providers. And I think that's going to be really important. And, Stadia is really kind of setting the example of what could be possible.
Oh, cool. Would it be fair to say, Ron, that if 5G really does deliver on its promise, that it could lead to the third generation in cord cutting? I know a lot of my listeners have abandoned landlines many years ago. They just use their mobile phones even at home. And then the second wave, it could be argued, is cutting cable. You don't need your cable TV service because of services like Netflix and Amazon and the like, Hulu, where it's over the top. You don't have to pay your provider and you can save in the process. Could 5G be fast enough that you don't really need a Wi-Fi router at home?
Potentially. With Cisco, what we see here is there's a need for Wi-Fi. We see Wi-Fi 6 as being very complementary, and I think that's probably one of the things I should have mentioned at the beginning of the show is, in our perspective, 5G means a lot of things to a lot of people. The way Cisco looks at it, Wi-Fi, the unlicensed that we all know, Wi-Fi is also evolving to the point of 5G-like experiences into the speeds and lower latencies and the battery life preservation and things like that. So we have Wi-Fi 6 now. Now, Wi-Fi, because of the ecosystem and the market dominance, is already delivering these networks today. Cisco's come out with a lot of these, both on the enterprise and on the consumer side, to deliver it. So I wouldn't say that Wi-Fi networks will go away. I think where 5G, that we're talking about, the 5G licensed type of technologies, that the value that's going to bring is in the true mobility function.
And finally, Ron, where could we learn more about Cisco and your work in 5G?
So, you can learn more about 5G going to Cisco.com and typing in 5G. And in there, you'll learn about our 5G basically license capability and what we're doing with mobile operators, the cable operators, and in gaming and some of the verticals, along with what Cisco's doing in Wi-Fi 6 and how that can also be very applicable in 5G-like experience delivered via Wi-Fi.
All right, Ron Malenfant, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Take care.
In our fifth and final block on Tech It Out, coming up in a couple of moments from now, we'll speak with GM about smart speakers and how you can now start, stop, lock, and unlock your vehicle using your voice, whether it's an Amazon Alexa speaker, an Echo or Echo Dot or what have you, or an Echo Show, which is the screen version, or if you have a Google Home device, it also works there. So we'll get to that in a moment. But first, I just want to remind you one last time about our big contest with Hotels.com. If you haven't yet entered, what are you waiting for? You can win a $250 gift card from Hotels.com to put towards a night or two through the app or website. If you're a legal U.S. resident who's at least 18 years old, here's how to enter. Go to Twitter and follow Hotels.com. Send a tweet to them with a sentence on why you could use a free stay and include the hashtag #TechItOut. That's the name of this show. That's it. We're going to randomly draw a winner and read it on the air next weekend. I'll also announce it on social media, and we'll reach out privately as well to tell you you've won and how to redeem your $250 Hotels.com gift card if you are the winner. We have 8 of these to give away. This is week number 2 out of 8, and you can enter once per day to be eligible for the random draw. Good luck to you. For the remaining minute and change we have left until the end of this block, I do want to remind you, as a Tech It Out listener, that you can tell me what you'd like to hear on this show. Maybe you've got a recommendation for an upcoming topic or a guest. Maybe you run your own company. Maybe you've got an IT company, you're doing something cool, you've developed an app, or you work at a video game studio, or you're in robotics and you'd like to be interviewed. You can always reach out on my website, marksaltzman.com. That's MarkSaltzman.com. I'm also on all the social media platforms. If you've got any feedback on this show, maybe some constructive criticism, I'm all ears. You can hit me up again on email at tech@marksaltzman.com, through my website, or on social media. Before we take a short break, just a thank you again to ASUS, the title sponsor on Tech It Out, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. You can visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. If you're into gaming, you no doubt know about Asus's Republic of Gamers, or ROG, brand of gear. So check that out if you're into competitive gaming. Maybe you want to win $3 million playing Fortnite at the World Cup like someone did a couple weeks ago. Crazy, huh? We'll be right back with more Tech It Out when we catch up with GM to talk smart speakers. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
Many people who tune into this show love their Google Home speaker or their Alexa-enabled smart speaker for things like playing music, getting weather information, setting kitchen timers, and maybe controlling their smart home products, things like lights and their Wi-Fi thermostat. But did you know you can now use your voice to start, stop, lock, and unlock many GM vehicles? It may sound like science fiction, but it is available now. Joining us on the line to tell us all about it is Geeta Ravindran. She is the Technology Planning Manager at General Motors. Pleasure chatting with you, Geeta. So why don't we dive right in? At a high level, what are we talking about here with these smart speakers?
So these services allow you to interact with your GM vehicle using your compatible smart home device or an assistant installed on your smartphone. So you can do things just like you spoke about, starting your vehicle or locking, unlocking your vehicle. Super handy.
All right. Yeah, for sure. I can see many applications for this. Like you're busy with the kids and it's maybe cold outside and you want to warm up your truck. You can just use your voice to summon Alexa or Google and have them start and warm up the vehicle for you. Or you're just about to fall asleep and if you can't remember if you locked your vehicle or not, you just simply use your voice to lock the car doors without you having to go outside.
That's right, yes.
And so it works with both the smart speakers and smart displays, as well as your smartphone, so the same sort of personal assistant that you would use on your device?
Yeah, so I find it really handy if I'm leaving the office. I have a Google Assistant on my phone, so I can just ask it to start my vehicle before I head out.
Wow. Okay. So we've covered some of the things you can do. So right now, it's somewhat limited to starting and stopping the vehicle and locking and unlocking the car. Are there other features that could be available in the future, like asking what your mileage is at, or if it's an electric car, how much battery life or percentage is left, anything like that?
We're always looking to build out the features we offer to our customers to add more value as time goes on.
Got it. And what vehicles are supported right now?
So most Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, and Cadillac vehicles starting from model year 2011 are supported with an eligible plan.
When you say eligible plan, does that imply you need, for example, OnStar, which I know is a wireless service, a connected service for those vehicles?
So you would need a connected services plan for your vehicle brand. This could be the remote access package that we offer, or it could be a basic plan if your vehicle is still eligible.
All right, so if you buy a new vehicle, for example, you may get a trial or something. Is that right?
Yes, you get a 30-day trial with the purchase of a new vehicle.
Yeah, awesome. So you don't need OnStar, just to confirm. That's a separate thing altogether.
Yes, OnStar is separate from our connected services pack.
Okay. So there's very little barrier of entry here. You just need one of those services and a vehicle that's supported. And as you mentioned, most from 2011 and onward have it already.
Correct. And the beauty of these services is that you can install the Alexa app or the Google Assistant on either your Android or Apple device.
Yeah, that's right. So even if you don't have a Google phone, you do have an iPhone instead or an iPad, you can still install the Google Assistant there.
That's right.
Great. Do the Google Home and Amazon Echo speakers do the exact same thing? Is it like right across the board?
Yes. So for our Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, and Cadillac functionality, it's very similar between the two devices, and you could even link both types of devices to interact with your vehicle through whichever one is available to you at the time.
That's great. I haven't tried this yet myself, I should say, but I do use the app often to check in on my vehicle. And I love the ability to lock it remotely or see what the fuel level is at or tire pressure, oil level. So I love the idea of that. And then now this next sort of evolution, if you will, is now using your voice. And I like that ad, by the way. Who's it? Mitch Marner from the Toronto Maple Leafs? Playing hockey with his son in the house, and he's able to start the car.
Yeah.
With Google as an example, Geeta, we are talking, by the way, with Geeta Ravindran. She is the Technology Planning Manager at General Motors. So using Google as an example, can you walk us through how you get going?
Sure. So you would need to log into your Google account and then link it to your Vehicle Owner Center account. So this could be done by asking your Google Assistant for your vehicle brand, Chevrolet, Cadillac, GMC, or Buick, and that will prompt you to link your account, or you can visit assistant.google.com/explore and find and link the action there.
This is awesome. So I have a Cadillac, I have a CT6, and my wife has a Yukon Denali XL, and she's a little thing. She's got this huge truck. So between her GMC and my Cadillac, we both have newer models. So we're gonna give this a shot. This sounds really exciting, and I can definitely see the applications for it. And I'm excited to see where it's going down the road. Pardon the pun. So thank you for your time, Geeta. This is great. Where can we learn more about the support for smart speakers and personal assistants tied to your vehicle?
So customers can visit the Owner Center website for more information on how to use the feature, or they can visit support.google.com for help with the Google Assistant.
Awesome. All right, Geeta, thank you for your time. I hope you have a great rest of your summer.
Thank you. You too.
Hey, thanks for listening to this week's Tech It Out. Hope you've enjoyed it. Good luck in that Hotels.com contest. We'll catch up with you next time on Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.